So, hello, good evening, and welcome all to our normal Sunday night P0. It is myself, Chris, and tonight the boys head to Baku. I hope you're all doing well. Good evening, Scam, I see you in the chat. Good luck this evening. I think luck possibly is a little bit of something you need when it comes to Baku. But definitely a street circuit where we could see more racing. Of course, we missed last week at Jeddah. I think it was maybe a fortunate one to miss on comms. I think it was a bit eventful. Maybe not from a spectator standpoint, maybe it was actually very entertaining. But hopefully a little bit more tidy this evening as we head off into quali. Let's get a look at the standings in P0. Let me just pop them up right here. So Rob leading the way in the championship. He's back after a season as runner-up. He's back again, so he's got a 13-point lead to the new boy Finn. I'm sorry Rob, he's my pick. He shares the name with my son, but he is my pick for the title. He is 13 points behind. Then Luke Lass in P3 on 83. Skarma showing a good account for himself so far in the season as well in P4 on 76. Then it's Leonard defending champion in P5 on 75, then Mika Lando P6 on 64, Matty P7 on 63, Shiv P8 on 56, K-Pax P9 on 54, and Dixie P10 on 50. That's the top 10 separated by only 50 points, so one DNF and you're going to find yourself out of a lot of positions. And I've just looked up to see some really nasty qualifying weather. Some drivers will be very, very happy indeed. Now the constructors, I just need to scroll down. McLaren lead the way in the constructors. They have at the moment they have a 13-point advantage to Aston Martin. They're on 159, McLaren, Aston Martin in 146. Then it's joint third for Ferrari and Red Bull. They're both in 130. Then we have Alpine in P5 and 114, AlphaTauri P6 and 100, Mercedes P7 and 62, Alfa Romeo P8 and 16, Haas P9 and 15, and Williams down there in P10 on 1. So let's get some data up on the board. Of course, everybody's going to be in the full wets. That was pretty obvious at the time. And I hope you're all doing well. So, a new boy, John Bringer, appears to be no assist because the rear of the car snapped around rather abruptly right there. Couple of drivers to watch in the wet weather. Dixie has been going very well recently in the wet, so expect him to ramp up the pace as the session goes on. Rob always seems to be there or thereabouts. But there's other drivers. Skarma can turn up in the wet, Mika Lando can turn up in the wet, Lukolas can turn up in the wet, Chubby Slug, we always know he's got the pace if he can just find the lap. We know the Evans boys will always be there or thereabouts. Matty can have a shocker lap in the wets, and then if Matty gets a sniffy, a top 2, top 3, and then he starts on his soft tyre, we could see him be very aggressive off the start. So let's get to who is our lead man at the moment. I think it might be Arwen. It is in the Mercedes. We'll jump on board with the man in question. We see just how tricky the conditions are. Should be running damage, just maybe not hitting enough to cause or inflict any on the front wing at the moment. So we'll lead to left through the chicane. Yes, you see there's just no front end in the car at all. So, you've still been running pretty low wing. You need that straight line speed. And maybe actually Arlen's picked up some damage. He is on his way into the pit, so we'll shuffle back to what could be... Who is it? Is it Mika Lando? No. It is our new man, John. That's easy. He has no traction, so squeezing in the throttle. Tucks it in nicely into 2. Then short shifts to the car finds the grip that it needs. And down this back straight would be the first main DRS done of the lap, but of course in the wet conditions it's very much disabled. Nice and tidy through 4 and up into 5. You see him chopping a lot on the exit with the steering, that's him just struggling to find the power. You hear the wheel spin there. Then into 6 and 7, a tricky little couple of corners you want to watch. The inside curb that can very easily upset the car. Then up into turn 8, you want to really be aggressive on the curb on the inside here. There's a lot of time to be found by cutting the corner. And I tell you, John's got it pretty spot on there. That's about as much as you can cut by getting away with it. Then take all the curb on the inside on the way up through Castle. Then keep the car right, open up the left hander and squeeze on the power. Use as much of the road on the right hand side as you can. And then heading up, well, in the dry it would be just a couple of corners to go, but in the wet here it's essentially still 4. So downhill he goes. What would be the second, well, what we would call the last corner in a dry lap, but that is not the case in the conditions. So into the last chicane now. See how much speed he carries, and this is going to be our first lap of the day. Scarma out in the session. Has that been a retirement in the wall? Let me see if I can get my chat up. Scarma, if you're in the chat, can you let me know what happened? So a 57.8 for John, which is not a bad wet time at all, I think, for where we are this evening. Well, let's see where people go. It's a 2:01.8 for Dixie, but he'll be ramping up the pace as the session goes. Of course, only 2 set of wet tyres, so if there's any sniff of rain in the race that's to be heavy, you do not want to be burning out your wet tyres now. And bear in mind when you watch the guys as well, of course all these drivers are around the kind of 70 to 90 AI mark. But by God, when the boys are all being headstrong and they're at a decent raceable circuit, it's very, very entertaining. And sheesh, John Bryan is John's lap's looking much better than I think anybody thought. Let's see if Luke Last can put a dent in that. He's about 9 tenths off, and Leon Evans now slots into P1, 57.7. And John is a couple of tenths down in his lap. Let's look further down the order. Where is Dixie? A lot of drivers struggling in the conditions. Dixie, is he going to improve? I don't think he is. I think he may still be down. He is getting into the pits. So who's just behind? Who is that? Oh, he's also getting into the pits. That's Mika Lando, his teammate. Who's that? McLaren? Is that Shiv? No, it's Rob Wills. Is he going to the line? Yes, he is. He does improve. He goes up to 57.8. And the front of the grid is starting to compress. Look at Last down in his lap time. So you probably find because it's Baku, you don't really recover the energy that good. You're going to get 2 runs and bust. Finnegan on a lap, I think? No, he's slow in the energy. I don't think he is. That's an invalidated run. Let's go with Shiv, our other McLaren man. Last couple of races we've been watching, Shiv's had some splendid results, so let's see if we can take that. And Arvin Evans now, first man into the 56s. Is the track improving? tail onto the inters. So, the cam before the start, inters coming in. Driver's out, yep, has he had a little bit of an excursion on his outlap? I think he did. He just got a little warm in there, it's only in the race, yeah, in the race you would have, into the pits. Rob up on his lap time, so let's stay with Rob. Couple of tenths up would find him. The jump on John, at least of course John out on the intermediate compound tyre. Let's watch Rob up through the kinks. Tricky little corner coming up, front of the car, always wanting to wash out to that wall on the left. You see the understeer kick in, just rubs it. That's probably inch perfect there from Rob into the last corner. It's not the last corner, 6/10 of a second up, so Rob Wills could get close to Leo and Evans here. Is this a sign? And look how much speed Rob's willing to carry through the S's. He didn't even have a full lift, just half throttle down the main straight he goes. I think he will improve here. Is he going to dive to the pits to maximise the inter run, or is he happy to see the lap out? Yes, he is. It's going to be a 56.935, and he puts that McLaren onto provisional pole by half a tenth of a second. Dale, did he pick up some damage there? I'm unsure, don't think so. Michelando into the pits. Chubby Slug sitting quiet at the moment. Chat if you're watching, if you're a spectator and not a racer. Who's your money on for pole? It's quite hard to say in the wet conditions. Rob Wills, Albin, see Rob took 4 laps to get there, Albin got that in his second run. There's variables in the lap time, somebody improves there, that was Minham, and Haas, he gets himself up into the 2 minutes, 0.5. Pretty close now to his fellow competitors. Right, let's see how Johnny's getting on. 1.4 down. Are the inters the way? How's K-Pack's getting on? Sorry chat, I do go quiet, that's not me. It's tough. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to F1, so I'm not going quiet. I'm very much focused. I don't mean to be quiet and not talk to you. I'm very much focused on watching the driver and their inputs and how the car is, just to see how they're really getting on in the session. And who's that? Just launched himself up the leaderboard. Who was that? What happened there? Well, that's very strange. I swear I've seen that change. So Leon, this is the driver I want to stay with. I want to see how he fares down through the first couple of corners. Definitely looked a bit better through the chicane. Oh, and Evans in there. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe the Inter maybe is in play, but hard to yield the lap time. Let me filter down. Somebody on a wet tyre. That's EOJ going into the pits. Dixie's on a wet, so let's see. Sector time coming up. 1.3 seconds up, so he's up massively. So let's filter back through. The curtain's about to fall in this session, whereas everyday Leon Evans just coming to close his lap, and I don't think the Inter tire's there. I don't think it's getting the lap time that people maybe thought it would. Although Rob Wills has just proved me very wrong there. Well, maybe not actually. So some people still on outlaps. Whereas Dixie coming 3 corners to go. Oh, just gets the car slowed down. I'm intrigued to see. This is kind of the battle. Is the wet tyres there? Pushing on out through the last chicane. How much speed can he carry? Clips the barrier just a little bit. That's going to scrub him speed all the way down the back straight. So maybe not a fully representative lap. I think he is going to improve, though. Can he challenge the front row of the grid? He might not be far away here. It's going to be for Dixie. It's a 56.4. He puts himself up onto P2 in the grid at the moment. But Rob Wills, well, he's only shown as a 10th up in my screen. The Inter tyre, it's maybe not as easy as it seems to get switched on in the lap. What about Leon Evans? It's not shown me a delta for him. Johnny coming down the hill. Could stay with. Oh, we've got a Red Bull actually. Who's the Red Bull? Is it Chubby Slug on a lap? Yes, it is. So Chubby Slug 1.9 seconds up. But it's not enough. That's only shown as a mid 58. Of course, he's got the full last sector of improvements to come, so he may find the time. Can he get onto the front row of the grid? It's not. It's just a 57.2 in the intermediate tyre. Maybe, just maybe, not quite got there. So Alvin Evans on provisional pole, Dixie's on a provisional P2. What about Leon Evans? Can he find any time? He's going to take the checkered flag. Can he get above Rob? He can. Pushes Rob down to P4, but it's only a 56.5. So all the drivers that went to the intermediate compound tyre, it was not the correct call. The wet weather tyre, although the inter was maybe shown as faster in the deltas, the wet weather tyre yielded overall the better lap time. Luke Olacio looks massively up. Where can Luke go here? He's going to propel his Aston Martin up the grid. He goes to P5, it's a 56.8. Pushes Chubby Slug down one. What about Mika Lando? Is he on a lap? No, he's having a big lift through the S's. I think he's on a recharge, so he's taking the flag. What about Buckle? Buckle is up, and Buckle's on the wet, so Buckle a driver on the wet. If he can find the lap time here, could he put himself in amongst it? We know quite clearly that the wet weather tyre was the way to go in the end. Just where will it put Buckle? He gets himself up to P12, it's a 59.1. Gets himself ahead of K-Pax and Dale. And that's it. Alvin Evans on pole position, Dex at P2, Leon Evans P3, Rob P4, Luke last 5, Chubby Slug P6. John at P7, Finn P8, Shiv P9, and Mika Lando rounding at the top 10. So outside the top 10, I should have actually grabbed that. It's EOJ P11 at Buckle, P12, K-Pax P13, Dale P14, Minim 15, Matty 16, and Skarma down there in P17. So a clear sky dawns as, let me just quickly go and get a top up of the refreshment chat. Excuse my fridge noises. So, should we go peak? No, let's just wait. Let's just wait and see. So, Baku, it's, first lap is treacherous. If you're going to go side by side with somebody through, especially through the first 3 corners at least, until everybody starts to filter into the single file, the driver on the outside always has to be very willing to leave some space. If they're not willing to leave some space, if the guy on the inside has not got himself fully alongside, he also needs to understand there's times to back out of it as well. Do not go sticking your nose in and ruining your race via a penalty when you could just wait and go half a lap later or 2 corners later, or even if it's 4 laps later, you're still in the race and with no penalties. If you don't get yourself in any incidents and you have a good result, you can rest easy at the end of the race knowing that that result is safe. People that have got themselves caught up in an incident and finish well always have to wait on a steward's verdict to know. And that's just not worth it. So we'll get through the first 3 corners, chat, and then we'll see what happens from there. Good evening to everyone who's joined us. I hope yous are all very, very well. I am a bit tired, chat, so maybe sounding a bit grumpy, but we will make do. So, formation, I'm pretty sure we're on a formation lap in P0. So when we head on there, we go to green light so I can get some data. We'll go to tyres first, and oh, a nice mix of the grid. So Arwen, Dixie, Leon, Rob all on the hard compound tyre. Lucas at P5 in the softs. He's going to be a driver to watch, getting in about it, the top 5. Then we've got Chubby Slug P6 in the hards. Then we've got John and Finn P7 and 8, both in the medium compound. Then Shiv P9 on the softs. Michelando P10 on the hards. Then EOJ P11 on the mediums. Baku and K-Pax 12 and 13, they're both on the hards. Then Dale and Minam P14 and 15, they're both on the mediums. Matty P16, he's there on the softs. And Scammer P17, he's there on the hards. Let's go to position change. That's a good thing to be on. For the start, it allows me to not only commentate on what's happening, but watch who is gaining and losing further down the order without actually going there. So row 1 of the grid, Arwen and Dixie. Row 2, Leon and Rob. Row 3, Luke and Chubby Slug. Row 4, John and Finn. Row 5, Shiv and Mika. Row 6, EOJ and Bucko. Row 7, K-Pax and Dale. Row 8, Minam and Matty, and Scammer down there on row 9. Scammer, I think, on the hard compound tyre. I think he's going to be playing the long game here. Paul will probably wait for things to unfold ahead, which is an absolute given. If everybody gets through these opening laps clean, I would be stunned, but there's always one guy that likes to be too aggressive. I think when people start in the softs also, they've got to be aggressive. They have every right to. So others on the hard compound tyre, those that suffer with warm-up etc., they also need to understand that they're just going to have more grip. There's no point trying to fight it. You'd maybe just let them go and fight another day. Softs drop off massively quickly here, so they'll probably be praying for the early safety car, but then the early safety car doesn't work because the medium and the hard runners probably won't box, but then they could go to the back onto the hard compound tyre and take it to the end. The hard does do like 23 laps here, quite easy, so 22 laps. So we'll go to the back of the grid, like somebody said a moment. That may be bucket back there. He says he's going to catch up, just filtering to the back of the queue. See Scammer there in the Ferrari. What number is Scammer? Is he 75? Did I see that right? No, it's 45. So, on to the grid we go. Scammer takes his slot. We will filter off and look at the angle of attack there from Dixie. That is a man. Something's happened to Arwen. He's not allowing me to spectate him. Oh, here we go. So, we have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and the P0 Baku Grand Prix is away. A very quick getaway from them all. Can't quite see who's got the better start, but I think it might be Dixie. He may have got his Alpine up alongside. No, not quite, but Leon Evans very much has. Dixie's going to get the squeeze on. He'll follow up on the inside line. Now it's a drag race up to turn 2. Arwen's got away clean. Dixie on the brakes. Has he got that Alpine slowed down? And now it's going to be a drag race up, but Leon Evans has got the much better exit. Dixie gets bogged down a little bit and further back in the order. Chubby slugs up a couple of positions. Luke last down in his soft compound tyre, so he's not made that work. Shiv and Rob, something's happened to Rob. He's fallen way down the order. Let's see if he's picked up some damage in that McLaren. I don't think he has. He's got an Alpine and Michelando all over the back of him, who's been chased closely by EOJ and K-Pax. Matty's right in there as well. He's up full. Scammer also gained well up positions, and there's a Ferrari around. I think that could be K-Pax. He falls down to the back of the grid, and now it's Arwen from Leon, from Dixie, from Chubby Slug, Leon, John, Shiv, Rob, Michelando and EOJ rounds out the top 10 after the first 2 sectors of the first lap. Shiv will pick up a warning for that there. I can pretty much guarantee that. He cut that just a little too much as they all delicately filter their way through the church section of the circuit for the first time. But Arwen Evans doing what he has to do at the moment to stay in the lead of the race. So now people just need to settle in You need to not get sucked into an energy fight, especially here. You need it. If you want to overtake people, you need to keep your energy. So use what you need to use to keep yourself within the window. Otherwise, stay away from it. You do not need to use it. Wait for the DRS. There's a big lag spike there. There's a moment through the chicane. You see Adam just carries a bit better speed. And now we go in a drag race. We get Chubby Slug all over the back of Dixie here, but not gaining enough. Nicolas running nicely. Rubber's falling off a little bit. He struggled just in the opening phases of this race, or the opening lap. That's maybe just a tyre warm-up issue. Maybe just needing to settle into his rhythm. He's being tailed by Michelando and he's falling off the pack now, which is a kind of train of top 7. And Rodwell's leading the midfield battle that is at the moment, although be it from P8 downwards. So the two brothers, no longer teammates, a new dynamic, and the first time we've seen it in P0. They are enemies, opposing teams, no team order. This is race on. Oh, Chubby Slug sticking a nose in a quite an unorthodox place. That's highly likely to cause a little incident. Good evening, Mikey. I hope you were doing well. Oh, and that's going to hit the wall a bit. Got to be careful there, just trying to be pushy on the brakes, and that's the price you pay at a circuit like Baku. You run that little wing, the braking zones are so tedious if you're even a metre late. Oh, and Matt, you really want to be careful running energy through the corner. Oh, that's a given. And he's going to get on the energy, and I've just been kicked from the session. Huh. I have no idea what's just happened, chat. One second. Somebody invite me, maybe? Bear with me, chat. I do apologise. Right, chat. I will end the stream for now. I've kind of hung on waiting on an invite. If we get it back up, I will gladly be back. But until then, I will speak to you very soon, and I can only apologise.